Lily's garden. Hard work brings beautiful results. In a small village surrounded by hills, there lived a little girl named Lily. Lily loved flowers. She would spend hours drawing colorful gardens and dreaming about having of her own. One day, she saw her neighbor, Mrs. Green, watering her beautiful garden. There were roses, daisies, sunflower, and tulips of every color. The air smelled sweet, and the butterfly danced from flower to flower. I wish I had a garden like that, Lily thought. She ran to Mrs. Green and asked, how I can grow a garden like yours? Mrs. Green smiled and said, it takes hard work, Lily. You need to prepare soil, the plant, and seeds, and water them every day and take care of the plants. If you are ready to work hard, I will give you some seeds to start your garden. Lily nodded excitedly. I will work hard, I promise. The next day, Mrs. Green gave Lily a small packet of mixed flower seeds. Lily rushed to the home and showed them to their mother. Let's find a good spot in the backyard. They cleared all the small patches of land, removing weeds and rocks. Lily dug the soil with a little spade, making it soft and ready for planting. Then she carefully planted the seeds and covered them with the soil. Now what should I do? Lily's mother asked. You need to water them every day, put out weeds, and keep an eye on them, Mother said. Lily was determined. Every morning she woke up early to water her garden. She picked out weeds and made sure no bugs are harming their plants. After a week, Lily grew impatient. Why haven't my flowers grown yet? She asked to Mother. Her mother smiled and said, it takes time, Lily. You can't rush nature. Keep working hard and you will see the results soon. Lily sighed but didn't give up. She continued taking off her garden every day. One day, a strong wind blew through the village. When Lily checked her garden, she found that the soil had been washed away and the tiny sprouts were bent. Mrs. Green, who was passing by, stopped to help. Don't be discouraged, Lily, she said gently. This happens sometime. Let's fix it together. They added more soil to the garden and tied a small sprout sticking to keep them upright. Thank you, Mrs. Green, Lily said. I'll keep trying. After a few days later, Lily saw a tiny green sprout poking out of the soil. She jumped with joy and ran to tell her mother. They are growing, Lily said excitedly. Her mother hugged her. See, your hard work is starting to pay off. Lily continued to care her garden every day. She watered plants, chased every away bug, and even talked to her flowers. One sunny morning, Lily woke up to find her garden was full of weeds. The weeds were tall and covered with sprouts. Lily felt frustrated. Why do weeds keep growing? This is so much work to pull them out. Her mother sat beside her and said, weeds are like challenges in life, Lily. If you want something beautiful, you have to face challenges and keep working hard. Lily nodded and started pulling out weeds one by one. It was tiring, but she didn't stop until her garden was clear. After a few months of hard work, Lily's garden bloomed. Bright yellow sunflowers stretched towards the sky. Pink roses swayed in breeze, and colorful tulips filled the air with sweet fragrance. Butterflies and bees visited her garden. The whole village came to see it. Your garden is beautiful, Lily, Mrs. Green said. You have worked hard, and it shows. Lily beamed with pride. It was a lot of hard work, but it was worth it. Lily's garden became a special place for everyone in the village. She shared flowers with her neighbors and taught her friends how to grow their own garden. She also learned an important lesson. Hard work and patience bring result. The moral of the story is, kids, hard work and patience led to beautiful outcomes. When you face challenges, don't give up. Keep trying and success will follow. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.
The Squirrel Adventure. Once upon a time, in a thick and enchanting forest, there lived a squirrel named Sammy. Sammy was young, curious squirrel with soft, fluffy fur and bright. Sammy's parents always warned him to stay close to the big oak tree where they had lived their cozy nests. They would say, Sammy, you must be careful. The forest is a big place with many dangers. Never wander too far alone. But Sammy, being full of energy and excitement, always dreamt of exploring and unexploring the jungle. One bright sunny morning, Sammy woke up with a sense of adventure. He decided that today was the day that he would venture beyond the family tree and explore the deep parts of the forest. Ignoring his parents' advice, Sammy set off his adventure. As he further let go of, Sammy reached the part of the forest he had never seen before. After some time, Sammy heard a faint noise coming near the bush. He was curious to got him better. Sammy froze with fear as Renix landed. Well, well, what do you have here? A little squirrel all alone. You'll make a nice meal for me today. Sammy heard the noise, but quickly remembered what his mother always told him. No matter how scary things may seem, never give up. Always think on your feet. Sammy knew he had to act fast to survive. He looked around quickly and noticed a narrow gap between the two thick roots nearby. It was just big enough for a small squirrel to fit through. Renix growled in frustration, trying to reach Sammy through the gap. Sammy took a deep breath of relief. His heart was filled with still pounding. But he didn't have to find a way back home. Gathering his courage, Sammy decided to climb up all the tree and see if he could spot his home for there. Sammy took a deep breath and said to himself, I have to be brave. I have made this far and I cannot make it back home. On his way, Sammy was, however, wearing a nest oak tree. Sammy, with a big smile on his face, told all about this adventure and how he faced danger with courage. He had new friends and learned a valuable lesson that he should not go around too far. The moral of the story is, kids, the brave little squirrel adventure teaches us that true bravery is about facing challenges with courage and a kind heart. It's not just about being fearless, but also about helping others and being wise in difficult situations. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Brave little squirrel. Once upon a time, in the heart of large forest lived a cheerful squirrel named Sammy. Sammy was known for his bright eyes and a bushy tail, and he was little squirrel with a big heart and always eager to help his fellow friends in the forest. One sunny morning, as Sammy was busy gathering acorns near a tall pineapple tree, he heard a faint, frightened cry from a nearby bush. His ears peaked up, and his little heart beat faster. Sammy was naturally curious, so he carefully crept closer to the sound. Peeking through the leaves, he spotted a small and trembling bird trapped under the thick, twisted vine. The bird, whose name was Lily, had fallen from the nest and became tangled in the vine grafts. "Don't worry, little Lily," said Sammy gently, his voice filled with warmth and kindness. "I will help you to get out from there." With a determined look in his eyes, Sammy began to claw at the vine, using his sharp teeth and beak throughout. "Oh, thank you, Sammy," chirped Lily, his eyes shining with gratitude. "I thought I would be trapped over." Sammy smiled. "It's no trouble at all, Lily. We all need a bit of help from sometimes." Lily fluttered her wings, stretching them out before taking off into the sky. Sammy watched as Lily flew back into her nest up in the high trees, feeling warm and glowy inside. After a few days, a rumor spread that through the forest that a large, dangerous hawk has seen flying over an area. The hawk was strong, fast, and known for snatching up small animals. Sammy listened to his friends talk about the hawk and growing concern. "What we will do if the hawk comes here?" asked a young rabbit. Sammy felt a mixture of worry and bravery. "We'll have to stay together and keep a lookout for each other." Later that evening, as Sammy was about to return his cozy little nest, he noticed a faint cry coming from the bushes again. This time, it was even softer than before. As he heard the sound, he listened it with coming from none other than his new friend, Lily, the bird. Lily was lying on the ground. "Sammy," she whispered, I was flying low when I saw the hawk. He's nearby. I hurt my wings trying to escape. I can't fly back to my nest." Sammy's heart skipped a bit. We don't need to get somewhere safe, Lily, he said firmly. Come with me. Lily hopped to Sammy's back and holding on tight, he hurried through the undergrowth and guided her towards a small. Stay here, Lily, he whispered. I'll keep a watch outside. Sammy stood guard by the entrance of the tree. The hawk gaze swept over the area. The Sammy's heart pounded in his chest, but he didn't move. He stayed there little and standing firmly at the entrance, protect Lily. Just as the hawk was about to spot them, another sound caught its attention. It was a group of forest animals making noise nearby, calling out loudly and scattering through the trees. After a moment, Sammy peeked inside the hollow tree. The hawk is gone now, Lily. You are safe. Lily looked at Sammy with tearful eyes. Sammy, you were so brave. You risked your own safety to protect me. I'll never forget this. And the news of Sammy's bravery quickly spread throughout the forest. A few days later, the forest elder decided to hold a gathering in honor of Sammy's courage. Today, we gather to celebrate Sammy's bravery, the little squirrel who showed us that kindness and courage comes in all sizes. His heart is big as bravery as he is. The animals cheered and Sammy felt cheeks grown warm. Thank you, Sammy, she said. Because of you, I learned that true friends stand nearby no matter what. The animals clapped and cheered for Sammy. From that day on, Sammy continued to help his friends in the forest. And the forest, thanks to Sammy's example, became a place where all animals look out for each other, sharing kindness and courage comes of need. The moral of the story is, true courage comes from kindness and caring of others. No matter how small you are, your actions can make a big difference. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.
The title of the story is The Magical Tree That Granted Wishes. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by tall mountains and dense forest, there lived a kind-hearted boy named Peter. Peter was known for his helpful nature. He would always share his food with hungry. With help neighbors with their work, take care of the other animals in the village. One sunny morning, Peter decided to explore the forest near his village. The forest was vast, and the villagers often told stories about strange and magical things there lived. With a small bag of bread and water, Peter ventured into the woods, curious and excited. As Peter walked deeper into the forest, he heard a soft rustling sound. Following the sound, he came across a sparkling golden tree standing in the middle of the clearing. Its leaves shimmered like jewels. Its branches seemed to glow in the sunlight. Peter was amazed. He had never seen anything so beautiful before. Curious, he stepped closer to the tree. To his surprise, the tree spoke. "Hello, Peter," he said gently in his voice. Peter was startled, but managed to say, You can talk?" "Yes," replied the tree with a kind smile. "I am a magical tree. I grant wishes to those who are pure heart. You have been kind and selfless, Peter, so I will grant you 3 wishes. But remember, you use them wisely." Peter couldn't believe his ears. A tree that granted wishes. He sat under the tree thinking about what he can wish for. For his first wish, Peter thought about his village. People were kind, but often struggled because of the soil was not fertile and the crops didn't grow well. He looked at the tree and said, "I wish for my village to have rich, fertile soil so that everyone can grow plenty of food." The tree leaves glowed brightly and said, "Your wish is granted." When Peter returned to his village, later he found that the fields were lush and green, with crops growing tall and healthy. The villagers were overjoyed and thanked Peter for his kindness. Peter was happy, but he knew he still has 2 more wishes. He decided to visit the magical tree again the next day. The following morning, Peter sat under the tree and thought about his second wish. He remembered the children in his village that has no books to read or toys to play with. They often looked bored and unhappy. Peter said to the tree, "I wish for all the children in a village to have books and read toys and teas to play." The tree shimmered again and said, "Your wish is granted." When Peter returned to the village, he saw children laughing and playing with colorful toys. Some sat under the shade of tree, reading exciting stories for his new books. Seeing their joy made Peter's heart swell with happiness. For his third and final wish, Peter thought deeply.
He knew this was a last chance to ask for something magical. He wanted to be wished for meaningful and helpful to everyone. As walked back to the tree, he heard a faint cry coming from the bush nearby. Curious Peter went closer and found a small bird with broken wing. Peter gently picked up the bird and carried it to the magical tree. Oh, magical tree, he said, I wish for the power to heal people and others so that everyone can need like little bird. The tree leaves sparkled and brighter than forever. Peter, your final wish is the noblest of all. From now, you will have the power to heal others with your touch. Use it wisely. Peter felt a warm glow in his hand. He placed the bird gently on his palm and touched his wings. To his amazement, the bird's wing healed instantly. The little bird chirped happily and flew away. Peter returned to the village, where he used his power to help sick and injured people. People from nearby village also came to help for him. Peter healed them all with love and kindness. The magical tree stood silent in the forest, happily that its magic had been good use for. Peter continued to live a selfless life, spreading joy and hope whenever he wanted. The moral of the story is kindness and selfless brings great rewards. Use your gifts wisely to help others and make the world a better place to live in. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.
Ellie, the elephant, learns the joy of teamwork. In a lush green forest, there lived a young elephant named Ellie. Ellie was strong and clever, and she liked to do everything on her own. I don't need anyone's help, she would say proudly. The other animals in the jungle liked Ellie, but they noticed she never asked for help or worked without others. Even when the animals offered to help, Ellie would say, Thank you, but I can do it by myself. One day, Ellie's independence was put to test. The animal of the jungle walked up to find their favorite water hole almost empty. The hot sun had dried most of the water, and the animals were worried. We need to find water, said Leo the lion, the king of the jungle. If we don't, we will all go thirsty. The animals agreed to work together to solve the problem. They decided to dig a new water hole near the river, where they would always wear fresh water. Ellie, however, thought she didn't need help. I am big and strong, she said. I will dig my own water hole. I don't need anyone else. The animals tried to convince her to join them, but Ellie refused. I can do it faster by my own, she said. Ellie chose a spot far from the other animals and began digging. She used her strong trunk and big feet to move the dirt. At first, she could make progress, but she felt proud also. This is easy, Ellie thought. I will finish before anyone else. But as soon as sun grew hotter, Ellie began tired, and the ground was hard and dry. She had her trunk ache from all the digging. She looked all over the other animals and saw them working together. The monkeys were carrying away the dirt, and the birds were finding softer spots to dig. The deer were fetching water from the river to soften the soil, and they were laughing and encouraging each other and making the work seem easier. Ellie, however, was all alone. Her water hole was still very shallow. As the day went on, Ellie felt more and more tired. She sat down under a tree to rest, watched the other animals. They had already dug the deep water hole, and it was beginning to fill with water. The monkeys and rabbits cheered, and birds sang happily. Ellie felt a pang of sadness. They are almost done, and I have not even close, she thought. Maybe I was wrong, and I was trying to self my own. Ellie decided to shallow her pride. She walked over the group of animals and said, I am sorry for not helping you earlier. I thought I could do it by my own, but I was wrong. Can I join you? The animals smiled warmly. Of course, Ellie, Leo said. They would love to have you help. Teamwork makes everything easier. Ellie felt relieved and happy. She used her strength to move the large piles of dirt while the smaller animals worked final details. Together, they worked quickly and finished the water hole just before the sunset. When the water hole was complete, fresh water from the river began to flow in. All the animals cheered and gathered around to drink. This is amazing, Ellie said, splashing water by her trunk. And it's all because we have worked together. Ello smiled. Yes, Ellie, teamwork is nothing about getting the job done. It's about sharing the load and joy of happiness together. Ellie nodded. She realized that asking for help didn't mean that she was weak. It means she was smart enough to understand the power of working together. From that day on, Ellie became a team player. Whether it was gathering food or helping building shelters or solving problems, she always worked with the animals. The jungle became an even happier place. The Ellie felt more connected to her friends, and even before, she learned that teamwork wasn't just about finishing tasks, it was also about making friendships stronger. The moral of the story is, kids, teamwork makes tasks easier and bring people together. Working with others teaches us that we can achieve more together than we can alone. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.
Today I have got you a very interesting story. The title of the story is The Peacock's Pride, the Tale of Humility. In a beautiful jungle filled with tall trees and colorful flowers and flowering rivers, there lived a peacock named Roy. He had most dazzling feathers in the entire forest. His tail sparkled with shades of blue, green, and gold. Whenever Roy spread his feathers, the other animals stopped and admired him. Roy loved the attention. He would walk proudly through the jungle, showing off his beautiful feathers. However, because of his beauty, he came proud and often looked down on the order of animals. One day his pride led him to make this mistake. Roy enjoyed hearing compliments about his feather, but whenever he met the other animals, he would say, "Look at my feathers. Have you seen anything so beautiful?" The little rabbit, the deer, and the squirrel all admired Roy, but they felt sad because he never appreciated them. One day, a kind turtle named Tim said, "Roy, beauty is not most important thing. A kind heart is always what truly makes someone special." Roy laughed loudly. "Oh, Tim, what do you know? You have heard a shell, no colors. You cannot understand what wonderful it seems to be admired." Tim shook his head and walked away, hoping that one day Roy would understand. One afternoon, dark clouds gathered in the sky. The jungle animals knew that it was a big storm coming. The wind started to blow fiercely, and soon heavy raindrops began to fall. All the animals quickly ran to find a shelter. The rabbits hid in the burrows, and the birds found safe spots in their nest, and the deer took cover on the thick trees. Roy, however, was worried about his feathers. "I must not get wet. My beautiful feathers will be ruined," he cried. He tried to run in a big tree, but the wind was too strong. His feather became heavy in the rain and making it difficult to move. Suddenly, he slipped in the mud and fell. As Roy struggled, he heard a gentle voice. "Do you need any help, Roy?" It was Tim, the turtle. Despite of the storm, he had helped him back. The Roy looked at Tim's teary eyes. "Yes, Tim, I was wrong. I was so proud of my feathers." Slowly, Tim cried, and Roy dropped the dry spot under a big tree. Roy was touched. "I was so proud of my feathers, and I forgot that it truly matters kindness and friendship." After the storm passed, Roy realized that the beauty fades, but the kindness and humility lasts forever. And from that day on, Roy was no longer proud. He still had beautiful feathers, but now he was also known for his kind heart. Whenever he met other animals, he no longer being boasted. Instead, he admired their struggles and helped those in need. And so, Roy, once proud peacock, became a humble and beloved friend in the jungle. Moral of the story is, true beauty comes from kindness and humility, not from appearance. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.